Hey there, welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited about what we'll be diving into as we explore a very pressing topic in today's security landscape, non-human identities, or NHIs for short. You might be wondering, what exactly are NHIs? Well, let's break it down. So imagine you're developing an app. You have a lot of moving parts, and to manage all of them, you use automated processes. NHIs include things like service accounts, API keys, and various credentials that help software communicate and function without human intervention. Sounds convenient, right? But here's the catch. They can also be a huge security risk if not managed properly. Today, we're unveiling the Non-Human Identities Top 10, a comprehensive list that identifies the top security vulnerabilities NHIs present to organizations. This list is crucial because as organizations are embracing automation, overlooking these vulnerabilities could lead to significant data breaches or unauthorized access. Let's jump into our first vulnerability, improper offboarding. It sounds technical, but it's really a matter of not adequately deactivating or removing NHIs when they're no longer needed. What do you think happens when an old service account is left alive and well in the system? That's right, attackers can exploit these vulnerabilities to gain unauthorized access. It's like leaving a back door wide open. Next on the list is something that's all too common in the coding world, secret leakage. This happens when sensitive NHIs like API keys or certificates show up in places they shouldn't, like hard-coded in your source code or even sent through unsecured chat apps. Imagine sending out the key to your house to the whole neighborhood. It astounds me how often this happens. Then we have the risk that comes from using vulnerable third-party NHIs. Think about the integrations that developers rely on. If a third-party tool has a security flaw or gets compromised, the results can be disastrous. Suddenly, your data security is in someone else's hands. Now, you might be a little surprised, but insecure authentication makes it into our top 5. Developers use a variety of authentication methods to connect internal and external services, but if these methods are outdated or vulnerable, they create gaps for attackers to exploit. Let's not forget overprivileged NHIs. It's all too easy to assign a non-human identity too many permissions. Why give a service account the keys to the castle when they only need access to a room or two? Well, if compromised, these higher privileges can allow attackers broad access. As we delve deeper into the list, another significant risk is insecure cloud deployment configurations. When developers automate their build and deployment processes, they rely heavily on authentication credentials. If those credentials are exposed, guess what? Attackers have open access to those cloud environments. Long-lived secrets sound harmless, but they're a ticking time bomb. If sensitive NHIs don't expire, compromised secrets can serve attackers indefinitely. Imagine if someone had a copy of your front door key and you never changed the locks. Moving on, we arrive at environment isolation, which is crucial in development. Mixing NHIs across testing and production environments can create massive vulnerabilities. This is like testing a new car design on the roads while the regular models are still driving around. Reusing NHIs across applications can also be dangerous. It's reminiscent of using the same password for all your accounts. If an attacker gets into one place, they could access everything else using the same credentials. Lastly, human use of NHI. It's a bit ironic, but sometimes developers use NHIs for tasks that should really be performed by a human identity. This can undermine auditing processes and place organizations at substantial risk. So why does this all matter? Understanding the NHI landscape is crucial for organizations wanting